Hello and welcome to Chats with Charlie. It is only a coincidence that I am blended into my background. I'm not usually this colour coordinated, but let's crack on. So I hope that my videos will help anybody who's struggling or anybody who wants some advice to contact or to put views or advice in which we can all try and help each other with these issues. I went from being a very active person, very independent. I was driving, I was working and studying at the same time, and I had a life, as it were. That changed when I then became a wheelchair user, and by that I mean somebody who uses a wheelchair because of a physical disability, but I am able to transfer, and I can walk a short distance. But I'm in it a lot, and it's a bit of a catch-22 because I want to stay fit and healthy. I've recently joined the gym to try and build up the strength of my legs. But the more I'm in a wheelchair, that muscle strength does go. I used to do a lot of running, which I found was very therapeutic. It was an outlet for me. If I was stressed, I would chuck on my gym kit and just go for a run. I can't do that now, so I'm trying to find alternatives in which I can still get that sense of achievement, though that rush of endorphins that I used to get when I was running. So I joined the gym. How can you join the gym when you use a wheelchair? Well, actually, I didn't know the answer to this until a couple of weeks ago. But you can still join the gym. If you're able to use your limbs, then you can still build up muscle strength. So I work on specific equipment that is actually really well, and I don't think the purpose was for it to be wheelchair friendly or for disabilities, but it's really well thought out. You can lie down on a piece of equipment and pull yourself up. You can sit quite comfortably and do rowing motions. It's a very good set of equipment. It's called Elevate. I don't know if any of you would have heard of it. I can also go into the main gym and use the equipment, leg extensions, the leg curls. I might go flying off a rowing machine or a treadmill, so that's a no-go. But it just proves that you can still do it. I might not be able to do it at the same intensity that I was before, or for as long as I could, but you have to start somewhere, and it's small steps. And I say that with everything, small steps, and you'll often hear me say a day at a time, which I think is really important. We put pressure on ourselves to achieve things, to achieve goals in hours, instantly. Oh, I want to be able to do this. Oh, but I haven't done it in a week. It doesn't matter. Small steps. Just think that and take a day at a time. That gets you through. And it can be any achievement during the day. You may not see it as an achievement. If you think about actually, what have I done today? And I often think this, what have I actually done today? I haven't achieved anything, I haven't done anything. Say if you've done a drawing, excellent, that's an achievement. Say if you have managed to wash your hair, had a shower, all these daily activities, if you painted your nails, I don't know, anything, done some baking, you may not even realise that those are achievements, but they are, no matter how big. But basically, going back to how things can change, and they can change quite rapidly. I was diagnosed with FND, and part of that is suffering from non-epileptic seizures. So, need non-epileptic attack disorder. So I have these every day, and it's tiring, and it limits my ability to do things. Hence being in a wheelchair. I haven't had a day where I haven't had one for probably for 3 years, and it almost just becomes part of my day. I know what's going to happen. I know, oh, tomorrow's going to be this day. I don't know how many I'm going to have. Are they going to go on for longer? But I can't think like that, because it doesn't get me through the current day. So before I was in a wheelchair, I was always sceptical of people who maybe presented in a physical manner of being well. And that's not a criticism. That's because we are stereotyped to believe that those who are disabled are in a wheelchair. Look at the car parking spaces. They have a wheelchair on them. You could have a mental illness, but you don't see a picture of a brain in a car parking space. Not all disabilities are visible. That's what they say. Some toilets say that as well. Why aren't there car parking spaces for people with mental illness? I think we have come a long, long way in terms of mental illness and the stereotypes and how people perceive a psychiatric ward or somebody going through depression. But I still think we're a long, long way from ever being able to solve that situation entirely. No matter how much money is thrown at it, I still think we've got a long way to go. The statistic 1 in 4 suffer from a mental health illness, I think it's got to be more than that. It's got more of that, as in more people are suffering. More than 1 in 7 UK adults say their mental health is either bad or the worst it's ever been. That tells me that that's got to be more than 1 in 4 who are currently diagnosed. 1 in 7 in the UK. And we'll all love Google. If we don't know something, typical phrases, oh, I'll just go and Google it, or I'll just have a look, let me just Google. And it's quite sad to think that in, this year, 2024, the term how to reduce stress was the most searched thing on Google every 10 minutes on average. So that's every 10 minutes somebody's Googling how to reduce stress, how to cope with stress. It's quite sad, actually, that people feel that they've reached that point where you're thinking, I'm going to turn to the internet for help, to AI rather than an actual human being. I think there's a lot of support available out there. I think a lot of people are having therapy. but it's waiting times that are ridiculous. I would think more people are paying for private therapy now. During COVID especially, private therapy was very beneficial. You could use it as a platform online. So you could still talk to a professional every week, every other week, and get some help that way. And that's still the case. You can still do that. You can still have therapy online, and it does. I found personally that it does work. It's still beneficial. You still can achieve the outcomes you wish to achieve, and although you're talking not literally face to face, you can still feel a sense of engagement. I think physical and mental health problems together is a bit of a bang. It's a bit of a, here you go, have a mental health problem. Oh, by the way, you've got a physical health problem as well. And the Mental Health Foundation states that those with physical health problems are significantly significantly increase our risk of developing mental health problems such as depression and vice versa. So nearly 1 in 3 people with a long-term physical health condition also have a mental health problem. So that's 1 in 3 with a long-term physical. So if I don't like labels, but I would put myself in that box. 1 in 3 people with a long-term physical illness also has a mental health problem. That ticks that box. And when we look at different social models that have been created to help with that overlap between the two, the biopsychosocial model works in a way to understand mental and physical health needs. And it's that system which overlaps and interacts to impact each individual's well-being. It doesn't just solely look at physical and mental as separate. It looks at them as combined. And it's a model which is very person-centered. It takes into account the individual's needs. An example would be, let's say Mick he's climbing a ladder, he's going onto the roof, he's going to get some moss off the roof, and he falls to the ground and he breaks his arm. He's lucky he didn't break anything else, but so he broke his arm. This leaves him in a cast for, 6 weeks. And he can't use his arm. He can't use it in the same way he did before. He can't lift it, he can't put it down as high, or it causes too much pain. And that influences how he feels about himself, which in turn could lead to Mick experiencing depression or anxiety. He might spend the 6 weeks indoors not wanting to go out, and as a result his levels of anxiety may rise, and even after having the cast off, his anxiety levels still may be high initially. So I guess I want to just round off by saying that if you have a mental illness, if you have a physical disability, if you have both, then you can still do things. You can still do things. Don't limit yourself. If you're thinking, oh, well, Charlie, why are you saying this? My health professional says, I can't do this. Well, I'm saying you can give it a go. if you want to do something bad enough, your body will push itself to the limit. I'm determined to get out of the wheelchair and back to running again. And that's my goal. And I know that I will achieve it because I've planted that seed in my head that no, you're not going to stay in a wheelchair. You're not going to just accept it. And I'm not accepting it, which has had its problems. But for me, it gives me something to work towards. So it would be great to hear what people have been doing to try and maintain their well-being, to any goals that you've been working towards. If you'd like any information or support about FND or need, feel free to contact me, and I hope to hear from you guys soon, and I wish you all the best, and until next time.